In the series so far, हम लोगों ने UPS के बारे में जाना. We also learnt about solid principles with practical examples, and we believe that we have got some sort of understanding now about how to write good code that is readable और जिसमें changes करना easy हो और जो loosely coupled हो. So all this helps. But what next, right? So all the subsequent videos in the series will now be we will now be targeting some use case. So in each video we'll try to solve some LLD problem, the ones that are generally asked in the machine coding rounds, like cache, logger, splitwise, some other examples like meeting scheduler. So these are all commonly asked questions. So we will be targeting one of them in each of the video, and the idea would be in the first half we would cover the details that we need to know, the foundations to basically create a good LLD for that particular problem. In the second part, we will be coding the same, and we will code everything, and will not do assumptions there. We will treat it as an interview only. So before doing that, let's just understand ki how to approach any LLD problem, because a lot of times what will happen is you'll be asked an LLD thing where basically you'll have to write a working code of something that you haven't written before. It is still possible, and that is something that we want to learn, right? We don't want to memorize these 10-12 examples, right? We want to expand our mind and get a deep understanding about how to design these things, so that even if we don't know the implementation detail about or how something works, we're still able to approach it. So we'll understand it comes through practice only, but हम लोग इस वीडियो को देख के we'll see, even if we don't know something about a given statement, how to approach it. एक बार ये देख लेते हैं, and then we'll continue with the actual use cases. And please comment like what are the use case or the LLD problems that you want to solve. We can comment, and we can get a video created for that. So let's just see this, how to approach any LLD problem. So क्या है आइडिया, राइट? सो पहला आइडिया तो ये, द फर्स्ट थिंग इज few points, right, जो हमको ध्यान देना है whenever you are asked. So first thing is understand the requirements, as simple as that. कि सबसे पहले तो हमको समझना है कि what is the requirements, and requirements को अगर कोड में हम लोग if you map, right, so these essentially are our endpoints, or for LLD these are APIs or methods. Okay, कि ये बेसिकली आपको बताएगा कि what APIs और methods you have to expose. So सबसे मेन चीज़ यही है. सिर्फ हम लोग को we just have to understand the name of the functionality. Okay, what do we want to do? Okay, do you want to perform search? So हम लोग को इससे समझ आ जाएगा, ठीक है, we have to create something that has a search method. Okay, then we'll understand, okay, what input does it take. So you don't have to assume these things. Either it will be straightforward in the like either it will be very straightforward, like cache. So we know in cache there is put and get, these are the methods. और अगर कुछ special LLD है या कुछ custom LLD, then the interviewer will definitely tell you, right, about how the APIs would look. Cool. पहला part ये है, to understanding the requirements. The second part is, and this is more, I will say, mental thing, right? This is something that you have to think. This is about understanding how it works, or a better word will be algorithm. So we have to understand the algorithm कि यार उसका क्या algorithm होगा. For example, I'll give you a small scenario. So you have a list, right? And I want to know the latest data that was added to the list. So this is the requirement. So there needs to be an endpoint that says last data, or something like that, or last item. So this is the requirement. Now if we know that okay, we are storing this data as a list, then what we need to do is we need to get the last element. If we get the, and how to get the last element, you'll calculate the length, and the last length minus 1 would be the index of that element, and we can just return that. So this is figuring out the algorithm. Now this is a very trivial example, but that's what it is, right? So you have to understand the important pieces of that LLD problem where you have to think of a logic. So that is, and this is mental thing, right? Okay. Then the third thing is, and you can also clear out if you have some, if there is some ambiguity, right? It's better to ask the interviewer also. But yeah, this is mostly mental. The third step, and an important one, is structure. This is the third part. Good thing. So whatever we have learned before, like solids and oops, they help us create structures. Structures basically mean what classes, what interfaces would be there, and how they relate, and how they relate. Now, the last one is bit tricky. Correct. I mean, because there are n number of ways to approach a problem. बहुत तरीके होते हैं. Uh, and that is why we did those exercises earlier. हमने काफी सारे examples देखे while we were understanding solids to figure out if we need to create a certain class, if we need to have an interface. So this structure, right? This comes with practice. This comes with practice. तो इसकी भी टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. Slowly we'll understand how to approach, and essentially what will happen is at the end ऐसा होगा after you complete these things कि it will come naturally. हम लोग को क्वेश्चन देख के ही समझ जाएगा कि okay, these are the classes that will be there. It is that simple and will not complicate things. There is a fourth point also, and this is where we miss. So even if we do the first three, we're able to create the LLD. हमारा LLD हो जा रहा है, हमारा कोड चल रहा है, मशीन राउंड सही चल रहा है. But at lot of times, for there is a reason why the interviewer asked you a specific LLD problem. क्योंकि उस LLD problem में they want you to discuss or put emphasis on something. जैसे कुछ उसका एक पार्ट होगा जहाँ पे वो चाहते हैं कि आप ना ऊपर ऊपर से मत बताओ, you go bit deep and you explain it. For example, तो इसका मतलब यह है कि focus points, we can say focus point. So any LLD problem में, right, कोई भी LLD problem में there will be some parts where there is good logic, and which is something that the interviewer wants you to discuss. And it could be about using some design pattern, it could be about how you go about the logic. For example, अगर आप book my show का डिज़ाइन बना रहे हैं, book my show is a very common example. Now book my show में they are not interested in seating arrangement, right, and movie details. These are not that important. The main or the core part of book my show would be seat booking logic. So they want you to focus on seat booking logic. Okay, so how are you making sure that uh, like uh, one seat is not booked by two people, right? So how do you ensure that? So they want to focus here. In other cases, like in case of LLD, there is something called as eviction strategy. Eviction basically means ki if the when the I'm talking about the LLD of cache. So in cache there is eviction policy, and it is basically used when so suppose the cache gets full, and now we have to insert a new entry. Then we have to decide, right, कि इसमें से कौन सी entry को remove करे, which entry needs to be removed. So that is eviction. So the idea is if you hard code some eviction policy, for example LRU, or first in first out, for example, or last in first out. These are all various algorithms. But if you write a code that makes use of only one, and it's difficult to add another, like if it's hard coded and if it is not loosely coupled, then that would probably detect points, and your LD might not, it might work, but it will not be as impressive as it could have been, right? So these are the points, and for every LLD problem I will tell you like in which part we should put more emphasis. So yeah, that's the idea. So we have to think about these four things: understanding the requirements, basically understanding what methods needs to be created, then figure out how it is supposed to work, and then the structure, and what are the important parts. Because if an interview is for an hour, it is possible that you might want to spend 15-20 minutes on a one particular thing, right? That will be the highlight of the whole LLD. So yep, I think only these 4 points इस चार को mind में रखेंगे and we'll solve. uh, okay, after this I'll create videos for 10-12 LLD problems, and you can just comment and ask me if you have to create some more. So let's meet there. Thank you.